Hello and welcome to the Vinyl Sanctuary. My name is Christian and I hope that you will join me in taking refuge in records. So I'm here today with a video that I've been really looking forward to recording. It's just taken me a little bit of time to put my concept together and think about how I would best present it. But it is a video in response to a challenge that's been set by a brilliant guy with a brilliant channel, and he's currently on a mission to hit 500 subscribers. And that gentleman is Gordon at I Dig Vinyl up in Scotland. So I will be linking Gordon's channel in the description box to this video, and I'll also be doing a few shout outs along the way as well to some of the brilliant channels in the community. So what Gordon has asked us to do is to come up with our own fantasy festival. Music festival, you can include people, past and present, people no longer with us, any band, any artist that you like. So that was a huge challenge in itself to think about who I was going to include. But I came up with a concept and I thought I'm going to stick to it. So I will give you an outline of the concept and how it all came together to begin with. And then we will get into the all-important lineup and the order of play. So I think Gordon from memory asked for 6 bands or artists to appear, but I do think you could do more if you wanted to. I've gone for 7 because I'm treating one of the appearances as like a bit of a guest spot in the middle. So you'll be wondering maybe from the title card, because I've given away the name of the festival as Gravity Fest. And the reason I've come up with that is because I grew up in a town called Newton-le-Willows. So that's the town that I call home. For anybody who may not be sure about Newton-le-Willows geographically, it's in the northwest of England and it is pretty much slap bang in the middle of Manchester and Liverpool. So right in the middle, that's where I grew up. And people from Newton-le-Willows are known as Newtonians, and we also say Newton for short a lot of the time as well. So when I was thinking about how I could kind of get a thread going for my festival, my brain went over to Isaac Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, and the fact that his theory of universal gravitation was known as the Newtonian law. So I thought to myself, well, I'm a Newtonian and I'm going to be holding a festival in Newton-le-Willows, so why not make it an apple-themed festival? Because as we know, Isaac Newton came up with that theory after witnessing an apple falling from a tree. It's a bit of a myth that apparently it fell on his head. I don't think that's actually true, but it's a nice story. But he definitely did witness an apple falling from the tree, and then that's when he was able to determine that the laws of gravity don't just apply to specific areas. It's a universal thing that happens all over. And that was back in 1666, that was. So it got me thinking about all these different things I could do with this apple-themed festival. So I decided to make Isaac Newton the focus. I don't think he's got any actual links to Newton-le-Willows. I'm not sure if he ever passed by at any point back in the 17th century. Maybe he did. But I thought it'd be a bit of fun to kind of have a bit of a play on words with the whole Newton-le-Willows Newtonian thing. So that's the explanation to why we're calling it Gravity Fest. Okay, so this is all the pertinent information that other people who've done this challenge have shared about where it's going to be held and stuff. So I'll do all of that and then we'll get into the lineup. So my festival will be held at a place called Mains Park, which is in Newton-le-Willows, and that is Mains spelt Mesnes. Mesnes is how it's spelt, but it is pronounced Mains. And it's got a capacity, I would say, of easily about 4,000 or 5,000. So that's going to be the capacity for my festival. It's going to be a day-long event. I've got some nice bands and artists lined up. It's going to cost £16.66 for a ticket in honour of the year that Isaac broke through with that theory. And all of the monies that will be raised from my festival will be donated to a variety of local charities. The Apple theme will continue regarding the entertainment on site. So in the Mains Park area, we're going to have the stage, the main stage, where all our artists and bands are going to be performing. And that is going to be called the Golden Delicious stage. And we're also going to have a theme park, like a little fairground area with some gravity-defying rides. So if anybody fancies, having the stomach turned by a couple of fairground rides, then you can go and knock yourself out and go and do that. There's going to be cider being served, obviously, as part of the alcohol on site. We're going to have apple juice as well as a non-alcoholic beverage, maybe a bit of apple ties and stuff. There's going to be apple pies to buy on store as well. So as you can see, there's a real apple theme at the core of the festival. And yeah, we'll even have some apple bobbing and stuff going on in there as well if people fancy having a go at that. And there'll be lots of apple themed, prizes and all kinds of stuff going on to keep that theme going as tenuously as we possibly can. Just trying to think of anything else. So I've covered capacity, I've covered the ticket price. We know what stage that we're going to be on. We know the venue. So I think we should probably just get into it. If there's anything else that comes to mind as I'm gabbing away, I'll let you know. I'm here today in my typical festival attire. And I have to say that on the day of recording, it is absolutely boiling here today where I live. I think it's probably like this all over the UK at the moment. It is cracking the flags, as we would say up here in the northwest of England. Really, really hot. So I'm glad I've got my hat on today, and I've got my, it's a shame actually because this has got lemons on it, this shirt. It would have been better if it had apples on it, but this is a citrus themed shirt, this one. Okay, so let's get into this, into the lineup then. So, oh yeah, I must mention as well that toffee apples will be available to purchase at my festival as well for anybody with a sweet tooth. And there'll be an apple cart, of course, with various varieties of apples that you can go and help yourself to as well. Okay, so Newton-le-Willows then. We have to have Newton's most famous favourite musical son opening our festival. This was a non-negotiable for me. It has to be the one and only Rick Astley. So Rick Astley is going to be opening up Gravity Fest. Now what Rick's going to be doing is he's going to be appearing alongside his mates Blossoms as well over from Stockport. So what I want Rick to do is I want him to get the crowd warmed up in his amazing Newtonian way. He's a local hero. He's going to get everybody in a great mood for the festival ahead. The sun's going to be shining, of course. I'm going to make sure that happens. So he's going to do a few Smiths tunes with Blossoms alongside him, but then he's also going to get into that classic 80s pop that he did as well. What I'll be doing is, for each band and artist I'm showing today, I will just give you the name of the closing track that I will be having written into their contract. So each of these people will be doing the closing number of my choice, and I will be letting you know on camera what those songs are going to be. So once Rick's done a few Smiths tunes, I'll leave it up to Rick and Blossoms to decide which ones to do. He's going to obviously close up the set with Never Gonna Give You Up. So he's going to have a lot of Rick rolling going on in the aisles. He's going to be playing up to the crowd, getting everybody in a really great mood. I cannot think of a better way to get a Newton-le-Willows hosted festival up and running than having our own Rick Astley doing his thing. So love Rick Astley to bits. Loved him from being a kid. Like I say, local guy done good. He's an inspiration to, to people in my town. Always come across as a great guy. And he had that amazing success with Never Gonna Give You Up, topping, singles chart. I think it was both sides of the Atlantic. So yeah, great guy, and he's definitely going to get Gravity Fest up and running with a big smile on his face. And he will go down very, very well with the local crowd. Okay, so for people that tune into me regularly, they know that I'm a huge fan of power pop. So I decided that I was actually going to merge two bands together for this one performance for one night only. They're going to do a mixture of their respective bands' material, and they're both going to get a closing track as well. So for one night only, I'm going to have Big Star and Badfinger perform together, and I will leave it up to them to decide whether they're going to go under the name Bad Star or Big Finger. Big Finger would probably be what I would pick, but I will let the guys decide. And this will be Big Star when Chris Bell was in the frame as well, as that for me is the classic Big Star lineup. So let's show you Big Star first. So here's their brilliant album Radio City from 1974. Chris Bell was not with the band at this stage, but this is an amazing album. The reason I'm showing this album off is because I'm showing the records today where the closing track for each band or artist is featured on that studio album originally. So their closing track is going to be September Girls, which I think is the greatest power pop song ever written. So that's going to be Big Star finishing on an amazing note with September Girls. They'll play a few other classics in between there as well. And then Badfinger, of course, who are going to be alongside them. They're all going to be on stage together, going to be jamming. It's going to be amazing, playing away. There's Badfinger. And their closing track is going to be Baby Blue. This is my favourite album, by the way, of Badfingers as well. An unbelievable record, this one, straight up. It's got production by both George Harrison and Todd Rundgren on it. And it really is just a classic all killer no filler record, this one. Power pop perfection. But so is Radio City by Big Star as well. Not a bad track on there either. So that was Big Finger or Bad Star, whichever you prefer. I think Big Finger sounds better, a bit more optimistic. They're going to be performing right after Rick Astley, so they're going to keep the tuneful melodies up and keep everybody happy, dancing around and having a lot of fun. Okay, so once Badfinger and Big Star have exited the stage, we're going to have our very special guest appear. So I think they're probably in my memory now at the point of recording, because I went and watched them 2 days ago over at the Apollo in Manchester. They were unbelievably good, amazing. Haven't seen them for 10 years because they haven't been touring. They're a band that I got into at the age of 14. So at the very year that they came out, and their debut album just blew me away at the time. And their music has continued to astonish and amaze me all these years since. One of the most consistent and underrated groups, I think, ever. So I wanted these guys to make an appearance at the festival. And it is the one and only, from Wales, we've got the Super Furry Animals. Now, what the Super Furry Animals are going to be doing at Gravity Fest is I'm going to have them kitted out in 17th century garb, and they are actually going to be explaining on stage, Griff, the lead singer will be, Griff Rhys, they will be explaining Newton's theory of universal gravitation with a drum and bass techno soundtrack alongside it. I think if there's anybody who could deliver a science lesson at a festival and will be able to pull it off with aplomb and with a great degree of cool, I think it will be the Super Furry Animals. So that will be almost like the sort of the break after we've had the power pop greatness of Badfinger and Big Star. We've had Rick Astley warming up the crowd. Going to get the Super Furries doing a bit of a science lesson, but I'm also going to give them a chance to play a few tunes as well. So they're going to play God Show Me Magic, which is one of my favourite ever Super Furry songs. They're going to do Ice Hockey Hair in the Middle, which is my all-time favourite Super Furry Animals track, but they're going to finish with, which is off this album, their debut Fuzzy Logic, they're going to finish with If You Don't Want Me to Destroy You. The reason that they're playing that is not only is because it's a classic, beautiful song, but it is my favourite ever song in existence that references gravity. So that's keeping on with the gravity theme. If You Don't Want Me to Destroy You, beautiful song, all about gravity, great lyrics to it, great string arrangement. So that will be the Super Furries' contribution to my festival. Okay. So for the remainder of the night then, so we're going to be getting into the, well, maybe not the latter stages of the evening, but things will be progressing nicely. So coming up next then, after the Super Furries have done their thing, all dressed up, amazing light show, science, all kinds of stuff going on that stage. I think it will be quite chaotic. They're then going to exit, and then we're going to get in here the one and only, one of my favourite ever performers. Sadly never got to watch him live. I had opportunities to, sadly was never able to quite take them, but I'm gonna be correcting that for this evening at Gravity Fest. We've then got coming up David Bowie. I cannot think of just a greater performer to have as part of a festival, really. That's what I've tried to kind of go with Gravity Fest. These are people that, bands and artists that I just thought would kind of knock everybody's socks off and just leave everybody with an amazing smile on the face and just feeling great and vibing with the music. So David is going to do a set of all his greatest hits, pretty much. I want to hear lots and lots of all those Stone Cold classics that he put out over his incredible career. But his closing track will be Space Oddity, just because it does fit in again with that sort of gravity theme, the feeling of floating around in space. I just felt like that would be a really nice cosmic contribution to the festival. So yeah, I mean, David is just going to completely do his thing and own that stage, and may even munch an apple or two during his performance. Maybe some of the other performers will as well. Might have to write that into the contract. I'm not too sure about that just yet. But yeah, I'm sure David would do an awesome job. And yeah, he's one of those groups that artists I should say, that I always wish that I could have seen live but didn't get the chance to. So yeah, Space Oddity will be closing out David's set at Gravity Fest. Okay. So then we've got coming up is a band here. Didn't get to see these guys either, but this chap, this lead singer, for me, has the greatest voice in rock history. I just don't think there's anybody else who even comes close to him. There's other singers that I love and admire on an equal footing from other genres of music, soul, for instance. But for me, if you're talking about straight up rock, although he could sing many other styles, this for me is the man. So coming up then after Bowie, we've got Queen. And Queen are just going to, guide us into the sort of the latter stages of the festival with ease. Freddie is going to work up the crowd in a way that only Freddie can. He's going to be an absolute hit with the crowd over in Newton-le-Willows. I'm sure he'll have the thousands joining in with his deos and his vocal exercises, and goodness knows what Freddie's got planned. Of course, as part of the set, we're going to have Under Pressure. So Mr. Bowie will be coming back on stage after he's had a brief break to get on stage there with Freddie and company to perform Under Pressure. I mean, why not? He's there, they've got to do it. One of Queen's greatest ever songs, alongside Bowie, of course. But Queen will be finishing their set with the immortal, iconic Bohemian Rhapsody. So I'm expecting lots and lots of bangers there from Queen as well. I'm sure that it will be a very fun-filled set. Lots of great tunes, great melodies. Brian May, one of my guitar heroes. But, Roger Taylor, John Deacon, what an awesome, awesome band Queen were and are. But then you've got Freddie with those amazing vocal acrobatics as well. So that'll be then Queen doing their thing. So then it'll just be 2 acts left to follow on from Queen and Bowie and the like. Okay, so coming up next then, we've had Bowie and Queen get together for a little bit on Under Pressure. They played the separate sets. Getting into the latter stages of the festival now. So here's another artist that I wish I could have got to see. Obviously didn't. Passed away well before I was even on the scene. So never had a chance, never going to happen, but I've brought him back for Gravity Fest. We've got coming up then, next, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. So Jimi Hendrix will be following on from Queen. And I think that would suit Jimmy just fine. And Noel and Mitch, I think that they would thrive upon that. Witnessing the rock grandeur of Queen, and then thinking, right, okay, what are we going to go and we're going to come on now and do our thing. So I think that it'll just keep upping the ante in the stakes at Gravity Fest, where you've got these artists all maybe trying to outdo each other and compete in the healthiest and the friendliest way. So, of course, we're going to get an absolute incendiary set from Jimmy. There's going to be pyrotechnics. He's going to be playing the guitar with his teeth and behind his back and goodness knows what. He's going to really be defying all laws of not only gravity, but guitar playing and virtuosity, you name it, Jimmy's going to be doing it. So he's going to play another storming set as well. But he's going to be finishing with Purple Haze. That's going to be his closer. Purple Haze. What an amazing way to finish any set. One of my favourite ever Jimi Hendrix tunes. It absolutely rocks. But prior to that, he's going to be, putting in some of his psychedelic stuff in there as well, just to maybe shift the mood a little bit and the tempo. We'll have had a lot of rockers and stuff and some ballads from Queen and Bowie, but I do think that Jimmy has got such a lovely array of musical moods in his own catalogue that he'll be able to add to that very, very nicely. But he will be finishing with Purple Haze. So that is the Jimi Hendrix Experience as the penultimate act at Gravity Fest. Okay, so who's going to be following on from Jimmy? Because I think it was a bit of a thing back in the day that nobody could really follow on from Jimi Hendrix. I think if you had him supporting you, you were pretty much going to be slaughtered. But I've got an artist who I feel is going to follow on from Jimmy and follow on from him very naturally. He's an artist that I did have the pleasure of watching live a few times. For people that tune into me regularly, I think they've already got an idea of who it's going to be. He's my favourite artist of all time. So my thinking here is, we've got Purple Haze, the final notes of that ringing out. The lights have shifted to purple. Got some dry ice going now and some other stuff, creating a little bit of a vibe and a scene and a mood. So coming on after Jimi Hendrix and his Experience, we have got, to close my festival, Prince and the Revolution. And Prince is going to play twice as long as everybody else because it's Prince, because he's got too many hits, because it'd be a struggle to get him off the stage. I just think he is going to be the perfect closer to Gravity Fest. And my thinking is once he's blown us all away with an amazing set that's going to cover a load of my favourite Prince tunes. So my favourite ever Prince song is Kiss, so he is going to play that. He's going to have 1999 in there. He's going to have songs from Sign of the Times, from Dirty Mind. There's going to be a lot of Purple Rain cuts on here as well from the album. I want him to do some Black Album stuff as well because I think he only played maybe one or two songs off the Black Album during the Love Sexy tour in '88. I think he did Bob George maybe and a couple of others. But again, I'd like to see the Black Album getting a bit of an airing. His '90s stuff as well. I want to hear some stuff from Diamonds and Pearls, from the Love Symbol album, the Gold Experience. So I'm not asking for much. Might even be a bit of a slow section as well, where he does some stuff off the Rainbow Children, some of that jazzier stuff as well. So yeah, he's just going to completely wow us, isn't he, Prince? He's going to absolutely just blow the roof off at Gravity Fest. He's going to have that crowd in the palm of his hand, as I'm sure these other artists appearing as well will. But Prince will do it in his own very, very unique way. And the closing track, of course, is going to be Purple Rain. It has to be. It's his anthem. It's his calling card. But what I want to have happen is I want Jimi Hendrix to get back on stage to jam with Prince on Purple Rain. And I also want Brian May to come back over onto the stage as well and contribute his amazing virtuosity to the songs. So basically, three of my favourite ever guitarists, Prince, Brian May, and Jimi Hendrix, will all be having a turn playing Purple Rain together, and I think that would be a lovely way to close out the festival. And that is me done and dusted. So I really, really enjoyed doing that. It was a lot of fun. I want to give huge props and credit to Gordon. He's got such a brilliant channel. Please do check him out. Please do subscribe to him, watch his content. He's got such a great passion for music. He shows off so many different types of genres. He's very knowledgeable, got a great presentational style. Interacts with his audience. He's regular, frequent contributor. So yeah, he's just a great guy, is Gordon. So please do check him out. And this was something that I had a lot of fun doing. So there is only one thing left to do, actually. I think Gordon mentioned about bringing a couple of people to our festival, inviting them over. So this was really, really tricky because there's so many people I could invite. So I'm going to do quite a few shout outs here. Now, I've watched a few videos today where I have actually been invited to other festivals, either through comments or on camera. So Rob Walker, thank you very, very much indeed, Rob. I will definitely be attending your amazing festival. I was invited by Rob to that one, but I've also, through commenting on other videos, I got an invite, I think, to Gav Axman Spins' festival, which looked fantastic, and also the brilliant Midge over at Midge's Vinyl Gems as well. So thank you, Gav and Midge. I think you might have even have upgraded me or offered me a seat in your VIP/executive areas, which was extremely pleasing to get that invitation. I gratefully accept it. So Midge, Gav, Rob, you are all definitely invited to Gravity Fest. Of course, Gordon is invited. Gordon came up with the whole concept. So Gordon is definitely there. Gordon can bring along whoever he likes as well. You're all welcome to come. So I wanted to, though, choose a couple of people who I wanted to invite as well, just because they're two great guys. They're two people that I feel I would really enjoy going to this festival with, in terms of the artists who have picked, and also just because they've got great channels and I really, really enjoy watching them and seeing what they're up to. So two of them are from the UK channels, and I'm going to pick a couple from overseas as well. I'm going to fly a couple of people in, so I'll probably invited more people than Gordon said we could, but it's rock and roll, isn't it? I'm tearing up the rule book a little bit there. Hopefully that'll be okay. So the two people from the UK that I would love to invite is Cam. Cam has got an amazing channel, Cam's Vinyl Narrative. I'm going to be putting a link to Cam's channel alongside, of course, Gav, Midge, Gordon, Rob, everyone else I've mentioned today. So I will definitely love to invite Cam to Gravity Fest, and I would also love to invite Harvey from Spin the Black Circle as well. Two brilliant guys, love what they do, tune into them frequently, and I really feel that myself, Cam, and Harvey, watching the likes of Badfinger together, Big Star, Bowie, Queen, Hendrix, Prince, just think we'd have a brilliant time, really, really do. So they're my two invites from the UK, Cam and Harvey. And I'm going to push the boat now a little bit and invite a couple from overseas as well. The reason being is because they've been so supportive of me and the channel, and I've been really, really grateful to them both. So one of these people I've known for a long time now, since I started a couple of years ago. Somebody I've had the pleasure of getting to know a bit more in recent times, but she's been a really big supporter of the channel. So the two people from overseas in the VC that I'd like to invite are Boston Rob, and that's Rob Paniques. I'll put a link to his channel. Brilliant, brilliant guy, very, very supportive, always got words of encouragement for me, which means the world to me. He's someone that I have the utmost admiration and respect for. So I will be inviting Boston Rob over to Gravity Fest as well, and he can visit my, my place of where I grew up and the town that I call home. And then the other person I'm inviting from abroad as well is going to be Jen's Addiction. She's absolutely brilliant. So big thumbs up to Jen. She's got a great channel. She's into a lot of music that I'm really into, and again is a person that has been very, very encouraging to me. Tunes into my videos, offers words of support, and I've really, really enjoyed learning more about Jen in recent times, catching up with her content, and looking at the types of music that she's into, which is super, super cool stuff. So if Jen and Rob over in Boston, I think I'm not 100% sure where Jen is. I do apologise where in America she may be. But if you two are free to get over to Gravity Fest, it would be a pleasure to have you both. And Cam and Harvey, we're definitely making sure that you get there as well. And then we've got some other seats at the table there for people who've been kind enough to invite me, such as Gav and Midge and Rob to their festivals as well. So, and of course Gordon. So brilliant work, Gordon. Really, really enjoyed doing that one. It was a lot of fun. Please do, everybody, check out all the videos that have been done on this thread. Please do go over to Gordon's channel. He's got a playlist going of people who are taking part. And, do subscribe and help him to hit that hallowed 500 mark. And on that note, if you're new to watching me and you enjoyed what I did today, and you'd like to consider joining me in taking refuge in records, then please do give this video a like and a subscribe as well. I'd be very, very grateful if you did. And yeah, I just really, really feel that would be a fun festival, something that would leave me with a big smile on my face, and I would definitely enjoy watching all those wonderful artists and bands who I'm sure would have the Newton folk going home very, very happy, very content, and probably don't want to see the sight of an apple ever again after they've been to Gravity Fest. So there we are, all done and dusted. I'm hoping to be back again soon with another video, but until then, take care everybody, and bye for now.